they have actually already moved on from their twin waterfalls unit, yielding a profit over here, as you can see, of $329,999 in profit. So case study number 1, right? This is a HDB MOP, right? Mr. and Mrs. Tan. They have 2 kids, quite young. I believe it was maybe 1 year old and 3 years old. Yeah, combined income approximately about $12,000. They own a Punggol BTO HDB 4-room at 267A Punggol Walk. So they sold that at MOP in 2017 at $503,000, and they purchased a Twin Waterfalls unit, right, pre-MOP, 4-bedroom at $1 million. So all of you here today will probably say, wow, that one very, very cheap. But in 2017, it was not such a clear-cut move as what we can see today. Of course, in retrospect, it always seems very, very clear-cut, right? And in the property market, in retrospect, it always looks cheaper, right? But it wasn't at that point in time, okay? So these are the results, right? Had they held on till today, okay? So today, a higher floor unit, I tried to pick up an apple-to-apple comparison. It's super small, so I don't think you need to bother trying to see it. I'm putting it there just so I hope you believe me in what I say. So they sold in December 2017 at $500,000, right? In November 2021, a unit of the same size, maybe slightly higher floor, was sold for $595,000. So the price differential, $92,000, which is why I say over there, had they held on to today, they will profit $92,000. Okay, but they have actually already moved on from their Twin Waterfalls unit, yielding a profit over here, as you can see, of $329,999 in profit. And so that is a good 3 times more than 3 times more the kind of profit that they would have made, assuming they held on to the property, right? Then you're going to add on to the whole point of assuming that this whole last 2 years didn't happen. Their prices basically would have been level, not making any money from holding on to their HDB and missing out on the opportunity of profiteering from this Twin Waterfalls 4-bedroom move. Okay, but results aside, right, what is the key takeaway for this particular case study? So of course, they managed to achieve the highest annualized ROI in the entire development, because the rest of them had to hold for 8 years. For them, if you buy a pre-MOP EC, right, you don't have to have a full 5-year MOP. You enjoy the same MOP as everyone else. But what you do have is seller's stamp duty, so they've held for 3 years, and which is why they enjoy a 9.1% unleveraged return on investment annualized. 9.1%. There's nothing much else in the market that can beat this kind of ROI. Super ROI, right? But I will term this as an opportunistic purchase, because just nice at MOP they were able to jump in. Number one, number two, they're still eligible to buy that sort of, how do I term it? That pre-MOP sale unit lah, special approval pre-MOP sale unit. Right, so they did ask me, they were a bit uncertain. I said it's an absolute no-brainer at $1 million 4-bedroom, because even at that point in time in 2017, I wouldn't really say that I was so certain about this whole big development or big unit OCR outperforming the market, right? I wouldn't admit that I was that confident as I am today. But 1 million 4 bedrooms, I thought it was a no-brainer. Yeah, and so we went for it. And the next thing is that you focus on the exit and not the entry, because at $1 million they still had to pay, I believe it was a good $150,000 profit to the first owner. Did that affect them? Yes, they did, right? Because I think in today's market, a lot of us have been psyched to think that, you know, you have to be the very, very first owner to make money. While yes, right, it's good to have, But does it mean you pay the first owner some profits, you will not yield any profits? The answer is no, right? You have to be strategic about it, and you have to put it in and, as part of your options, and analyze all your options in totality before just making that decision. And that's one point that perhaps I could take this opportunity to share with our viewers, right, our followers. I think a lot of people are overly focused in being like the first timer in this market, and having lost sight of the fact that there are good deals out there in the resale market, and you can afford to pay the first owners a little bit of profit if you know what you're doing, if you have the exit planned out properly. Okay, so just keep your options open. Don't be overly focused in being the first timer. That is not the only way to go about doing it. All right. So in the end, we managed, right, after sitting down, exploring the options, achieve a back-to-back move, so they did not have to spend any money on rental. And that's also another point to note, to further add in that just quite how amazing this full profit is. Because if this kind of profit is coming from a new launch, for example, well, yes, right, you may say, oh yeah, that's really not bad. But if you are a straight up upgrader into that unit, you would have had to factor some sort of rental cost, so it would not have been like a 329,000 net profit, right? It would be just a gross profit. So your net profit, if you had to rent for like 2 years, take up probably half of it in terms of the expenses involved. We also managed to do this with a 3 years reserve fund. What does that mean, right? So there was a lot of fear involved, right? So like I said, it's very easy to look in hindsight. Oh yeah, sure, it's a no-brainer. They definitely would have made money. I would have made that move myself. Very easy to say lah, right? But at that point in time, 12K combined income, they were going from a $500,000 property into a $1 million property, doubling their monthly outlay. Previously, they were very, very comfortable in their HDB. I believe it was close to fully paid already, right? But how we help them put things into perspective, we always start off calculating the budget from reserve funds, right? At how much do you think you need to set aside to feel comfortable to make this move, right? They were not comfortable to increase their cash outlay on the mortgage by so much. So fair enough, right? What we did, keep some amount in CPF, so that at any point in time we utilize the CPF extra funds to pay off the mortgage. In order to try and keep the cash outlay low, so we don't use so much CPF upfront in terms of the down payment, because a lot of people, especially upgraders, so this is perhaps another point that I could share with people that are hitting their MOP now, because you are likely to be sitting on a lot of profits and also a lot of CPF, and you might be, and especially because we are entering a high interest rate environment, because I get this question a lot. Should I pay down the property in order to lower my interest expense, in order to lower the amount of loan I'm taking? My answer is no. Not if you are young, not if you are in your 30s or even 40s, right? I'd rather you keep that extra amounts in your CPF, because come a rainy day, you still have to pay your mortgage. Be it a mortgage of $1 million or a mortgage of $800,000, you still have to pay your mortgage. And I'd rather you have that rainy day fund versus paying down and then lowering your monthly mortgage by $400. That $400 will count for nothing if you end up losing your job. If end up something happens, you still are liable for the rest of the mortgage. Right? Just a word of advice, especially for those of you who are hitting MOP and sitting on profits and thinking, what should you do, or how should you structure your purchase, your finances for the purchase. Okay? Next. Yes, they did. So if you sell a they had to pay resale levy for this because the Twin Waterfalls pre-MOP EC is considered a subsidized house. So first BTO is considered subsidized. Then when you buy a EC that is hitting its pre-MOP, considered subsidized also, so there's some resale levy to be paid. So of course this profit is gross profit, so if you really want to be accurate, yes, you can take away some of the resale levy involved over there, like $45,000 because they are four room flat. Still excellent profits taken. I hope I answered your question. YK, right?
Yeah.
YK.
He commented that's a 40k levy then.
Yeah, correct. 40, 45? I believe it's 45. Yeah. Okay. Still very, very good lah. Still very, very good. Yeah, you will still beat out like any other purchases.